Welcome back to the second half of this morning's Gone Outdoors. Kyle Agri and Scott Brewer of Brewer Agri Outdoors, talking hunting, talking fishing, and talking anything you can do outdoors here on KWSN and Kello News Talk, both out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and the mighty 790 KFGO Fargo. We're going to welcome back here a guest we had on a few months back, Sam Tumberg. Purpose-filled habitat management. And as we get closer to the hunting season, and boy, trust me, we are not very far off from it right now, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the last-minute tweaks we can do to get ready for that opening day, whether it be a bow hunter or a gun hunter. Sam, welcome back to Gone Outdoors.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
So you have had a busy summer. I know that since you were on the show, I've been following you on social media, and you do not lack projects that you're out helping folks with. Tell us a little bit about how the summer's gone.
It's been a great summer. I've done a lot of consultations. That's normally what I do in June, where I do land plans for clients. We kind of lay out all the habitat and hunting stuff they can do to make their property hold more deer and hunt better. And then it's been a lot of timber stand improvement work where I'm cutting and bedding areas, killing invasive species, releasing oak trees to get them to produce more acorns, and just running the chainsaw a lot. So, I mean, I've pushed very hard this summer. I don't think I've ever pushed this hard physically in my entire life, which has been a little bit trying on my 40-year-old body, but it's been a fun summer, and I've definitely been blessed to have all the work I've got.
I love it. It's just really a lot of fun, even though it's not my property or Scott's property. It's fun to watch. Just some of the projects that you've done this summer. And, you know, speaking of projects, Sam, we're in counting days here, specifically in the Dakotas, a couple of weeks in Minnesota. It really isn't that much further behind. And we're going to be looking at the opener of bow hunting season. For those folks who are bow hunters, is it too late, or can we still get in a little tweak here or a tweak there that are going to help us be successful?
Yeah, I mean, there's still stuff you can do just to kind of better your overall situation. I mean, any time of year to me is a good time to go after invasive species. This month I'm still killing buckthorn. You can go after like perennial plants like Canada thistle, stuff like that. I mean, that you're playing the long game with that stuff. So if you're killing it in areas that aren't necessarily very high impact areas, I'd say go for it. One of the best things you can do right now at the end of August is go into your food plots and broadcast cereal rye out in them at 100 to 200 pounds per acre. Cereal rye is a great filler for any food plot. It's extremely cold hardy. Of all the cereal grains that I've used, that seems to be attractive on just about any property. But it's a fantastic filler, and I always target Labor Day weekend for that kind of project, give or take a week depending on rain. So if you had a food plot that maybe didn't take that great, now is a great time to go fill it in with some cereal rye. And there's always, if you check like Marketplace on Facebook or just your local co-op, you can normally find it for a pretty affordable price. I was able to get mine this year for $5 for cleaned rye. That's for a 50-pound bag. So it's a cheap food plot, but it's very attractive. And one other huge benefit of cereal rye is it's the first thing to green up in the spring. It germinates down to 34 degrees. So when your deer are coming out of that high stress period of winter, they have that nice green food source to help kind of get their energy reserves back up.
Hey, Sam, just a question on that, because I'm looking at a situation here where on the farm that I hunt, we dug up a food plot 1 week ago. 10 days ago is when it actually, we dug it up, we planted it, had a great plan in place, felt really good. We left, big thunderstorm comes through, they get 5 inches of rain, the river rises, it floods. We're sitting here right now with a couple inches of water on that food plot, and I'm thinking those seeds are no good. What's the latest? So if this dries up now, the water goes down, it dries up, what's the latest a person can get in there and drop some of those cereal rye seeds or some of the others?
I've went as late as like September 20th, even September 25th. I mean, if you can get 2 to 3 weeks worth of growth out of it, that's all you need. And sometimes, you know, our frost dates can vary from September 20th to mid-October. So if the frost doesn't hit till October, I mean, you got plenty of time. And even sometimes that cereal rye will germinate after that first frost, because it does, you know, germinate down to 34 degrees. So if you catch a frost, but then you get a 2-week warm spell, it'll still grow then. So you got plenty of time for the cereal grains. And if all you have is cereal grains at this point, sometimes I'd like to cut in maybe a little buck forage oats that's fairly cold hardy, just to give a little variety in the plot. But you do have plenty of time to get cereal grains still established.
Hey, Sam. Okay, now we talked about the bow hunters and the upcoming season. What about the firearm hunters? Because we're a couple months away from those seasons opening. Do they have time to get out and maybe do some cutting, working on trails, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I would. I mean, this would be a great time to get out and do that. I don't know if it's just Minnesota, but it seems like the rifle hunting tradition is to go work on your deer stands that week before rifle season hits. So if you can get out and do that work now and not blow up your woods right before your gun season, that would be great. I mean, this would be a good time to go check stands, clear shooting lanes, clear your access trails. I mean, I go so far as to like weed whip down my access trails, spray them down. I'll duct tape down anything on the stand that might make noise, like clasps on a ladder stand, that kind of stuff. I mean, any of that kind of work, if you can get that stuff done now before Labor Day weekend, that would be great, because it seems like every year, inevitably, that week before rifle, you see everybody out at the hunting shacks and starting to work on stands. And to me, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to blow the woods up right before you want to hunt it.
So last time when we had you on here this past spring, you talked about making bedding areas. Is it too late to do that? If you bring a chainsaw in and start cutting out some bedding areas, is it too late for them to use that for this year, or is it still a good idea for next year?
Not necessarily. This last week, actually, I was cutting and bedding on a property in a location where I just know the deer aren't going to be right now. I was working in a old pasture area that actually had cattle last year, so it still had grass that was only lip high. There was no cover there whatsoever. But that's the type of spot, where I go into now, I know I still can get a benefit yet this season. I mean, I've seen it where I've cut in an August bedding cut before and thrown a camera on it, and within days I'll have deer move into it, and sometimes I'll even have a good buck move into it that fast. So you certainly aren't behind the 8 ball at all if you want to get out and do some bedding cuts, especially if you're thinking more rut focused. But I mean, preferably that's the kind of work that you do in more midsummer, spring, winter, like right after rifle season. But if you got a busy schedule and you happen to have a few days open and you're in an area where the deer just aren't historically bedding anyway, I see no problem with getting in and doing some of that timber work right now to better your season this year.
Hey, Sam, just a real quick question here before we wrap up this segment. You mentioned, you don't really feel like the week before the season opens is when you should be in blowing up the woods. In an ideal world, of course, we would have it all done maybe the spring before the hunting season. But what's your deadline? When do you say? Is it 10 days, 2 weeks? Is it a month out when you just say, hey, nope, we're not going in anymore?
So my deadline would basically be when those bachelor groups start to break up. So, you think in Minnesota, North Dakota, I'm sure it's the same. It's kind of that early to mid-September is when they're starting to break up. And now as a bow hunter, I'm not in there that time. I want to be out of the woods by August 1st, basically, on ours. But, if you're looking at rifle season, I'm trying not to booger them up before they're shifting or when they've shifted to their fall range. And that happens normally that mid-September-ish, and they're kind of transitioning from that open cover that they seek in the summer to that high stem count cover that they want in the fall.
That is great advice. Sam Tumberg, Purpose-Filled Habitat Management. Sam, where can folks find you if they want to follow along or get a hold of you?
So I got a YouTube channel under Purpose-Filled Habitat Management, Facebook, same tagline, and then I'm on Instagram as well, and then I also have a website, pfhabitat.com.
Fantastic. Sam, thanks for spending some time with us this morning.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me.
Folks, don't go away. We got a whole lot of gun outdoors yet ahead of us. We'll take a quick break and be back with more Outdoor Talk.